Germany in the new decade of the millennium was the most powerful economy of the European Union. Standard of living was growing only higher, as was the economy. With the security of NATO, and especially the United States, member states could afford to invest most of their money into social welfare. The automobile industry was a point of pride for the average German. However, even in such utopian conditions, challenges remained. To the Union's east lied the successor state to the Soviet Union, Russia. Despite being a mere shadow of its former self, it still acted menacingly towards Europe, with its military power being a worrying factor in relations between the EU and the Russian Federation. However, most believe that the American army will be more than adequate enough in the case of a military confrontation. Another challenge was immigration, as it has been since 2015. Since then, right-wing parties, mostly the AfD, have used immigration to propel themselves into mainstream German politics, with controversial figures such as Juche causing much chaos with her radical statements.
Yes, I'm racist.
However, as the new decade would show, the old mainstream parties, the SPD and CDU-CSU, will turn out to be completely inept at combating the AfD's culture-based rhetoric, as they have been focused on economics for many decades, surrendering the cultural battlefield to parliamentary outsiders. Yet another challenge hit the whole world: a global oil crisis, when Saudi Arabia fell into civil war after the death of their queen. Saudi Arabia and Northern Africa became sites of proxy wars between the West and the Russians.
The mechanized brigade moves right after the artillery finishes the bombardment. You then will move into the village with the rest of the tank force. Any questions? No, ma'am! Get in, everyone! We are moving in after the bombardment!
The crisis revealed just how sensitive Germany is to energy issues with its heavy reliance on cheap Russian energy. With all these challenges piling on top of each other, as well as rising right-wing sentiment, the next federal election was won by the AfD, which quickly began reversing the denuclearization started under the CDU, and controversially, began trading for energy with rogue states such as Venezuela and Iran. However, what the AFD had to deal with too now was the fact that because of rising internal tensions, the United States has fallen into civil war. The question of European defense was now left up entirely to the Europeans to figure out. Objectively speaking, the Bundeswehr was incredibly weak, despite the economic might of Germany. The French armed forces were perhaps the strongest army in the EU, but even they were very small compared to some other armies of the world. A strong army needs a strong, sufficient economy to prop it up. A revival of both Western and Eastern German industries was in order. A strong army also needed motivated patriots.
Very good. You will need to work on your accuracy at long ranges. You almost hit a friendly with your machine gun. Now, give me 10 laps around the perimeter. Move it!
Gosh, I'm fucking dying.
Why are we even doing this again? Shut up, all of you! We won't die because of a bit of rain and running. You don't hike for a hobby or something? Why? Walking for the sake of walking? No wonder the Bundeswehr is how it is. We get rid of immigrants just to get some pussies in the army. How are we supposed to fight the Russians with snowflakes like you?
Oh, shut the fuck up and let the rest of us go to sleep.
For years now, the CDU government was trying to combat the presence of patriotically minded soldiers within the Bundeswehr. However, this did not attract any more people into the army. Under the AFD, the policy on political extremism within the Bundeswehr has changed, and the federal government began turning a blind eye on the matter. New military manufacturing plants were being constructed. Both investors and international observers felt confident in the famous Deutsche Qualität. The Russians began making moves that deeply worried the EU. Central Asia and the Caucasus have fallen to the Russian army. A more aggressive Russia was expected when the LDPR took power after the death of the previous president. However, nobody expected Zhirinovskaya to take up the ante to a military confrontation. This reinforced the need for Europe to rearm itself. On November 7th of 2026, the Russian Imperial Army invaded Ukraine.
Right, we dig foxholes here, here and here. Then, when we survive the initial Russian attacks, our tanks will destroy them.
Got there.
I know, right? The Russians won't know what hit them.
I bet they will just see your tank and start running.
Alright, let's not get too ahead of ourselves now. But don't worry, we will protect the infantry like it's the only thing that matters.
Good to hear.
The rapid progress proved old estimates about the Russian army to be true. In desperation, Ukraine begged to be allowed into NATO, which was granted. A European war has sparked, which would decide the fate of the European continent.
Guys, we won't get away from them at this pace. We will stay here and cover your retreat.
What? What about you?
We will be fine. Just go already. I outrank you, so don't argue.
Despite the efforts of the Bundeswehr, the Baltics were fully occupied by the Russians. The majority of the German army was taken captive. In February of 2027, NATO had to recognize that their efforts were futile. The war was lost. The return of Bundeswehr prisoners of war did not make the bitter defeat any sweeter. The destruction caused by the war has violated every major pillar of German life. Blue-collar jobs collapsed as military manufacturing was no longer needed. Investors and capital fled Germany as the investments in Rheinmetall yielded no returns and the economy was in ruins. Left-wing anti-AfD sympathies emerged in all stratas of society: the students, the workers, and the soldiers. Some places in Europe were even worse off, as Portugal, Spain, and the Netherlands have fallen into civil war. The first country to fall to the Red Wave was Italy, with Francafreda and her Nazi Maoists taking power. In Germany, the AfD was overthrown by Sarah Wagenknecht's Union. The first task of the new socialist government was to stabilize the political life of Germany. One way in which Sarah intended to do this was to mimic the National Front of the long-gone German Democratic Republic. However, this would quickly backfire as a pluralistic political scene legitimized ultra-nationalistic factions of the German left.
I'm staying in the army. Someone needs to stick around to rebuild it.
But we got our asses handed to us.
I know for a fact that the Russians will rest on their laurels. We will learn from our mistakes.
I'm not sure. Their army is big and vast.
Alice knows what she is doing. She survived a fight nobody should survive. She will rebuild the Panzerwaffe anew.
By the will of the German people and the German working class, you are being executed for high treason and revisionism.
In the aftermath of the National Communist coup, the direction of the new German state took a strange direction. After some limited rhetoric about German national pride, the government of Michaela Kott proclaimed the triumph of Juche principles. With the core of Western Europe stabilized, the European International was formed to replace the defunct NATO. After consolidating their side of the continent, the economy and military of these countries had to be rebuilt if they were to take revenge against Russia.
You know, now that the day is so close, I'm not feeling so confident anymore.
I know what you mean. Just remember what we've been practicing, and we just might survive another war.
I hate them. I just want to avenge all our comrades who perished fighting for the bourgeoisie before.
Don't worry, comrade. We will. This time, we absolutely will.
On the 20th of July, 2032, the National People's Army crossed the Polish and Czech borders, sparking the Second European War.
Whoa, it's a bit terrifying, but it sure does burn beautifully in the night.
So true. Too bad there are still those who resist us. Let's get some sleep. We will need it tomorrow. They will fight desperately.
No! Our tanks cannot go into a half-wrecked urban area. We will be sitting ducks in there, for the love of God.
Between the two of us, who is higher in rank? Surely you don't want to be demoted and sent in anyways.
Yes, ma'am.
Fuck. They got her. They fucking killed her.
My goodness. She survived so much, only to be killed by one of those animals at the last hurdle. No, I can't believe it.
Listen to me, Emma. We will kill every single one of them.
In October of 2034, it became clear who will be winning the war. Understanding this, Russian soldiers began fleeing the battlefield. The Euro intern was triumphant over the forces of capitalism and imperialism. The deaths caused by the Russians in the First European War have been avenged. However, now that the common enemy was taken down, the communist Europeans started hatefully glaring at one another, accusing each other of revisionism. This culminated in the Franco-German split, with Italy, Spain, Portugal, and Britain siding with Trotskyite France, with the rest sticking with Juche Germany. In the winter of 2034, the two red banners have finally clashed in a deadly struggle of the Third European War. June of 2035, the war ended with the fall of France, and the other detractor nations recognizing the primacy of Juche in Europe. The Democratic People's Republic of Germany has emerged triumphant over its enemies both in the east and in the west. Once again, Germany claimed its rightful place in the sun as the hegemon of the continent.
So, you're leaving military service?
Yes, I'm tired. I have been fighting and serving the socialist fatherland for almost a decade. I want to return to normal now. Man, I wish Alice was here with us now.
Yeah, she would be overjoyed with the victory over both imperialism and revisionism. Well, good luck, comrade.
Thank you. Same to you, comrade.